They sent fake cops to steal my car. What they didn't know is I'm FBI. Here's how I turned the tables on a corrupt HOA and uncovered a dangerous criminal syndicate. You won't believe how this suburban nightmare ended. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and tell us where you are listening. Your support means everything. It was a peaceful suburban morning. The sun shimmered off the dew-kissed lawns while birds chirped from the oak trees that lined the quiet street. Jackson Taylor adjusted his running watch and began his daily jog, savoring the serenity of his neighborhood. To anyone watching, he was just an ordinary guy, a polite neighbor, a tech worker, someone who kept to himself. No one knew he was a member of an elite FBI task force. He liked it that way, peaceful, simple, undisturbed. But that peace was about to break in a way no one could have predicted. When he returned from his jog, sweat glistening on his temples, Jackson noticed something odd. A black SUV was parked across from his driveway, engine idling. Two men in dark uniforms stood beside it, glancing repeatedly at his sleek black Mustang. He frowned. The HOA had been sending petty warning letters about unauthorized parking, but this felt excessive. The men moved with a certain tension, too sharp, too professional for a simple parking enforcement visit. One of them stepped forward. "Morning," the man said curtly. "You the owner of that vehicle?" "I am," Jackson replied, his tone calm but wary. "Something wrong?" The man straightened. "This vehicle violates HOA code. We've been authorized to seize it." Jackson's brows furrowed. "Seize it? For what reason?" "Failure to comply with community regulations," the man said, flashing a badge quickly before tucking it away. Jackson caught only a glimpse, but even from that, he knew something didn't add up. The badge looked wrong. Too shiny. Too new. The second man started moving toward the Mustang, reaching for a tow chain. Jackson's pulse quickened. His instincts whispered danger. Something was off, not just with their tone, but the entire setup. He took a slow step closer. "Hold on," he said, voice firm. "Let's talk about this before you touch my car." The first man stiffened. "Sir, step aside. This is official HOA business." Jackson didn't move. He studied their faces, their clipped haircuts, the faint scars, the way their eyes darted everywhere but at him. These weren't neighborhood enforcers. These were trained men pretending to be. A subtle vibration buzzed against his wrist. Jackson discreetly tapped his smartwatch, sending a coded alert to his partner in the FBI: possible threat at residence. To suspects impersonating officers. He received a quick response: en route. Hold position. The first man grew impatient. "Sir, this is your last warning." "Then show me the paperwork," Jackson said coolly. "HOA rules or not, you can't seize private property without documentation." The man hesitated. His jaw clenched. Then he reached into his jacket. Jackson's muscles tensed, prepared for anything, but instead of papers, the man pulled out his badge again, flashing it more clearly this time. Jackson's eyes narrowed. The emblem was wrong. No department seal, no registration number, just a cheap replica. Jackson's calm expression shifted into something sharper. "Nice prop," he said quietly. The taller man's face darkened. "Watch your mouth." But Jackson didn't back down. "You're not with HOA, and you're definitely not law enforcement." "Who sent you?" The second man froze, his hands still on the car. The tension cracked the air like lightning. For a brief second, no one moved. Then the tall man's expression twisted, and he drew a gun from his belt. "Back off," he barked. Jackson reacted instinctively. He dove behind the SUV as the first shot exploded through the air. The sound shattered the morning calm, echoing off the houses. Neighbors ducked behind curtains. Jackson drew his concealed weapon, hurling behind the open door of the Mustang. His mind was laser-focused. These weren't random thugs, they were professionals sent to intimidate or eliminate him. But why drop the gun? Jackson shouted, voice commanding. "You don't know who you're dealing with." The man yelled back. "Oh, I think I do," Jackson muttered, peeking out. His years of training kicked in. With a swift, calculated move, he fired a warning shot that struck the ground near the man's feet. The impact startled both assailants. Within seconds, Jackson closed the distance, disarmed them, and forced them face down on the pavement. As he cuffed them, his badge glinted under the morning sun, real, unmistakable. The taller man's eyes widened. "You're FBI?" Jackson tied in the restraints. "You should have done your homework before pretending to be cops." Within minutes, sirens wailed in the distance, real ones this time. His partner, Agent Laura Simmons, arrived with a tactical unit. She stepped out, assessing the scene with an incredulous look. "You can't even go jogging without finding trouble, can you?" Jackson exhaled. "They said the HOA sent them to seize my car. Turns out they're fake cops." Laura's eyes narrowed. "The HOA? You think they're really involved?" "That's what they claimed," Jackson said. "But I don't think this was about a car. Someone wanted something inside it, or they wanted me distracted." Back at headquarters, the interrogation began. The two imposters quickly cracked under pressure. "We were hired by someone in the HOA board," one confessed. "Didn't give a name, just told us to grab the car, make it look official, and drop it off at a warehouse on Riverbend." Laura exchanged a glance with Jackson. "That's not just petty extortion." Jackson nodded grimly. "It's organized." They dug deeper into the HOA's financial records and found something shocking: large, unexplained wire transfers from shell companies linked to a cartel under investigation by the Bureau. The HOA wasn't just overstepping its bounds. It was being used as a front to launder dirty money through property transactions. Members who asked too many questions found themselves targeted, harassed, fined, or intimidated until they moved out. Jackson realized his Mustang was only targeted because he'd unknowingly parked near the HOA president's home during a surveillance operation weeks earlier. The cartel had mistaken him for a local snoop. They wanted to send a message. And fortunately for them, they picked the wrong target. Armed with evidence, Jackson and his team launched a full-scale investigation. Over the next few days, the weight of suburban perfection began to crumble. The HOA president, Martin Keene, was arrested after FBI agents discovered encrypted files linking him to the cartel. Hidden among the files were names of board members, offshore accounts, and records of coercion tactics used on homeowners. When the operation concluded, Jackson stood outside his house once more. The sun dipped low behind the rooftops, painting the sky in streaks of orange and gold. The same neighborhood that once felt so quiet now buzzed with the weight of secrets exposed. His Mustang sat safely in the driveway, a silent witness to everything that had happened. Laura walked up beside him, a faint smile tugging at her lips. "You handled that well." Jackson smirked. "Guess my HOA dues finally paid off." She laughed softly. "You realize this story's going to go viral, right? FBI agent outsmarts fake cops sent by corrupt HOA. Let them talk," Jackson said, glancing toward the horizon. "Maybe it'll make people think twice before abusing authority." The night settled in, calm once more. The air was still, the danger gone. But Jackson knew peace was fragile. Evil could hide anywhere, even behind neatly trimmed hedges and HOA meeting minutes. But as long as he was around, it wouldn't stay hidden for long. He turned off the porch light and headed inside, the sound of distant crickets filling the air. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but tonight, justice had been served.